Hi, welcome to my channel. I thought I'd do part 4 of Irish slang and phrases. I'll put the links to the previous videos below if you want to check them out, and thank you to everyone who commented suggestions. I've included some of them in this video. If you like this kind of thing, please give this video a like, subscribe for more, and let's get started. First up is blow-ins. A blow-in is someone who moves to an area. They're not born and bred there, they are new to the village or town. I hear this a lot because we've had a lot of blow-ins in my area because a lot of new estates are being built. I'm local because I've grown up here. My husband is a blow-in because he moved down from Dublin. People don't really care, like it doesn't really make a difference who's local or who's a blow-in. But I remember my friend saying to her husband, the locals treat this as an unofficial crosswalk, so always stop here so people don't think we're blow-ins. And the funny thing is, they are blow-ins. But they didn't want anyone to know. Next up is call to the door, and this means someone coming to your house and knocking on the door. So, I had this guy call to the door to give me some leaflets about voting, or I had the dreaded call to the door from the TV licence inspector. It can also be friends. Laura called to the door and we spent about an hour chatting away. And going from this is the phrase call in or call round. And this means paying someone a visit. It usually means a visit, maybe an hour or two, some tea and biscuits, or maybe a glass of wine. Are you free tomorrow night for me to call in means, can I come to your house tomorrow? Or thanks for calling round means thanks for coming. You can also drop the in or the round and just say I'll call, but that can be confusing. If someone says, oh, wait till I tell you all the scandal, I've got to fill you in. Are you free tomorrow at 6 for me to call? It can be questionable, like, do you mean call on the phone or do you mean call in? But yeah, he called in, she called round. Another phrase with the same meaning is knock in. So if someone says, I'll knock into you tonight around 8, means I'll come over to your house around 8. Or, sure, I'm in all day, so knock in whenever means, yeah, come over whenever. And then the next phrase is how you'd feel after getting a knock in from a friend, and that is happy out, which basically just means happy. I don't know why the out is added. I don't know if anyone knows why the out is added, but happy out. I don't really use this phrase, but my friend uses it all the time. He's from Mayo, so maybe it's more popular in the country. But I'd say, oh, how are you doing? And he'd say, oh, happy out. That just means like good, I'm happy. You know, if you were starving, then you get a good meal, you say, oh, I'm happy out now. Or, oh, I just got my hair done, happy out. Next up is desperate, and it means awful. So, oh, this weather is desperate. It's been raining all week. Or, did you hear about what happened to your man? Oh, isn't it desperate? I always picture older women saying this phrase. I feel like the older Irish woman, especially the mother, loves this phrase and always says it like desperate. But I mean, everyone of all ages uses this phrase. That's just me personally. I feel like, yeah, older ladies really love this phrase. And you can also use it about people like, oh, he's a desperate moaning Michael. And that's our next one. A moaning Michael is someone who complains a lot and moans a lot. So I would use this one quite a lot because it was said in Father Ted, and most of my everyday phrases do come from Father Ted. So I'd use it like if my kids are complaining about having to go somewhere or having to do something, I'd say, who's being a bit of a moaning Michael? It's not really said in a mean way, it's more kind of like a funny, like, oh, you little moaning Michael. And you wouldn't really take offense if someone called you a moaning Michael. You'd probably just be like, laugh and say, oh yeah, I was complaining a bit there. And maybe if someone used the word desperate in front of it, maybe then you'd take offense because you'd be an awful complainer. Desperate moaning Michael. Next up is dote, and it means an adorable person or a sweetheart. Like babies would get called dotes a lot. Like, oh my god, look at her, she's such a dote. Or you'd say, oh my god, listen to you going on about your boyfriend, you're such a dote. Like, it's so sweet how much you like him. I heard some girls the other day calling an old man a dote, like, oh my god, he's so cute, he's such a dote. It wasn't to his face, because I feel like if they did call him a dote to his face, he'd probably take offense. If someone called me a dote, I'd probably be like, aw, thanks. If someone called my husband a dote, he'd probably be like, what are you trying to say? So I guess it's a compliment if you would like to be called a sweetheart or an adorable person, and it might not be a compliment if you're an older man, or most men in general, I think, don't want to be called adorable. But yeah, dote. Next up is after doing something. This is a way of saying you've done something, but you put the word after in it. So instead of saying, I forgot my car keys, you'd say, I'm after forgetting my car keys. Oh, I'm after putting salt in my tea, or oh, she's after spilling her drink everywhere. I don't know if it's just me, but I only use it after I've done something a bit stupid, like, oh, I'm after calling her the wrong name. So I asked my husband, does he use it that way, like only when you've done something wrong? And he was like, no, not at all. And I asked him for an example of how he'd use it, and he said, okay, well, I'd say I'm after driving home from work and forgetting my phone. So I was like, see? So I don't know if it's just us, if we're very cynical using it kind of in the after doing something stupid way, or if that's everyone. I'm so curious. Can you let me know in the comments below if you use that phrase in a negative way as well, or if it's just us being cynical people. If I add the just after, the just in front of it though, I can use it like anyway. So, oh, I'm just after ordering that dress, can't wait for it to arrive. Or just after putting on the dinner, it'll be ready in 30 minutes. Yeah, I wonder, I'm just after realizing this could just be us. Next up is would you ever, and this is used when you're fed up with a person or asking them to do something, like instead of turn down the music, it's would you ever turn down the music, or look at me, it's would you ever look at me. It usually signifies a little bit more seriousness or urgency to the request, like you're not just half suggesting it, you're serious here. And you know, if someone says you need to stop going on about your boyfriend, that's one thing. But if they say, would you ever stop going on about your boyfriend, it means I am fed up of hearing about it. So would you ever, it kind of raises it to a more serious level, like the person knows you're being serious here. Would you ever? The next one is in ribbons, and this can have a few different meanings. The first one is laughing really hard, like, oh, that movie was hilarious, we were in ribbons laughing. This is the one I would use the most for in ribbons. The next one could be like in bits or pieces, like, oh, I'm in ribbons this year with my hay fever. It means you're really suffering with your hay fever. And then the other one can be from being hungover. Like after a night of drinking, you could say, I'm in ribbons, or my stomach is in ribbons, I'm never drinking again. And if you're in ribbons after drinking, you're hungover, you're feeling sick, but if it's a step above, if it's like a really, really bad hangover, you'd say you're in rag order. And that's the next one. Rag order means in very bad condition. So if you're in rag order, it probably means you're too hungover to even get yourself out of bed to go get a breakfast roll. Any plans you had that day you need to cancel. It's a very bad thing to be in rag order. And a place can also be in rag order. So look at the state of this place, it's in rag order, it all needs to be cleaned. I heard someone describe cycle lanes as being in rag order, which means they're in bits, they're not suitable for cyclists. And it can also be used for if someone's too drunk, like, oh, she's in rag order, we have to carry her home. If you're in rag order drunk, it's not a good thing. You're probably making a fool of yourself. Your friends are angry at you because you're in rag order. So yeah, you don't ever want to be in rag order. And I guess someone could say, she was in rag order last night. She left the bathroom in rag order, so she's probably in rag order today. The next phrase is one that people use to try and justify being in rag order, and that's, it was a bad pint. They're basically saying they're not hungover, they're sick because they had a bad pint of beer. So I'm sure you can get bad pints, but it's usually from a dirty tap or the wrong temperature or a dirty glass. But that will only really affect you while you're drinking it. Like, it won't taste good. I don't think it really leads to being in a rag order unless it's poisoned or something. But people use this excuse a lot. So you say, no, I was barely even drinking last night, it was a bad pint. Or if you see someone and they look like they're very hungover, you'd say, oh, were you out last night? Yeah, but it was a bad pint. And you'd both laugh because it's, you know, it's a joke. You'd know that they are just codding you, which is the next phrase. Codding is basically pulling a prank or playing a joke. Like, is he just codding me, or is there really a big test tomorrow? Or, oh, I'm only codding you, your car's not getting towed. Yeah, codding you. The next one is messer. And that's someone that does a lot of messing. So you know those kids in school that mess around instead of paying attention? They are messers. It's not usually a bad thing, but in certain contexts it can be. Like a business could be messers. You know, like if you get your car towed by a mechanic and then they don't return your phone calls, and then they start adding on all these problems to your car, so your bill goes higher and higher, you'd say to someone, avoid those mechanics, they're messers, and it's a bad thing. But it can also be used as a term of endearment, like for you know, a kid. So a mother on a playground would say, oh, that's my kid, that messer over there. You know, it usually signifies the kid might be a little bit cheeky, a little bit yeah, just someone that messes around. And it can also be used for pets, like you could call a dog a messer. And you know the type of dog, like the type of dog that would dig up the garden and run away and you have to chase them. Oh, he's a messer, but you love him, so it's a cute, like, the little messer. Next up is Janie Mac, and it's usually said in surprise to something, like wow, like look at the size of this turnip, Janie Mac, or Janie Mac, did you hear what he's after saying? It means like Jesus Christ, but so about 50 or 60 years ago, it started because people didn't want to use his name in vain, so they'd say Janie Mac instead. So yeah, it kind of means Jesus Christ. And you can also drop the Mac, so it's just Janie. Janie, did you see what she's wearing? Or you can also add Janie Mackers. Janie Mackers, did you see what this messer's after doing? I used to use Janie Mackers a lot when I was a kid, but yeah, not so much anymore. Janie Mackers. Next up is fouler, and this means bad mood. So it probably comes from foul humor. So instead of saying, oh, he's in foul humor tonight, it turned into, he's in a fouler tonight. So you could say, oh, I woke up in a fouler today, I just need a glass of wine. Or I'm having a fouler of a day, nothing's going right for me. It's kind of a step up from just a bad mood, like you're really angry, nothing's going right, you're in a fouler. You probably want to avoid someone in a fouler because anything can set them off. And yeah, it's not a good feeling when you're in a fouler. Next up is snotted myself. And you would definitely be in a fouler if you snotted yourself. It means falling really dramatically. Like not just a little trip or a little fall over, it's like a big display and probably really embarrassing. Like, oh, I fell on the ice and snotted myself in front of everyone. Or did you see him getting off the bus? He snotted himself and landed straight on the pavement. It's not good when you do it, but for other people that watch, it's probably really funny. As long as you're not hurt. I remember my friend, she used to be really clumsy, and she used to have so many moments where she would have snotted herself, and I'd be trying so hard not to laugh because she'd be in a fouler then and she'd be so angry, but it was just so funny. But yeah, it's not good snotting yourself. Next up is the sun is splitting the stones, and I love this one because it means that we're getting good weather and the sun is shining and it is hot enough for the sun to split the stones in half. And not literally, we never get heat at that level, but it just means a hot day. You know, oh, it was amazing out, the sun was splitting the stones, I was out with my rosé. Or oh my gosh, it was boiling, I couldn't even sit out, the sun was splitting the stones. So yeah, I love using this one because it means we finally have some good weather. And when we do have nice weather, we'd also be using the phrase, sure, where would you be going? And this one means you have the perfect thing going, there's no need to go anywhere else. So you'd say, the sun is shining, the pints are flowing, sure, where would you be going? Means, yeah, we're fine here, we don't need to go anywhere else. And it can also be used for like shopping, like deals, like, oh my gosh, 3 for €10, sure, where would you be going? Means yeah, like you won't get better than this is perfect. And it's not used as a question, like you wouldn't expect a reply, like someone to say, oh well, I'd be going here or anything, just it's a statement. You know, we've got the perfect thing here, sure, where would you be going? Next up is would sicken you. And this one is usually used when you have bad feelings about something that someone else is doing. Like, did you hear about her going off on holidays again? And she's only back from the last one. Would sicken you. It can also be about not just people, like, oh my gosh, he told me the stuff that went on there, oh, would sicken you. It basically means, like it gives you a sick feeling what this person is doing or what's going on, like leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And you can also just use it as a reply, like as a response to someone. Oh, did you hear about what went on there? Would sicken you. The next one is any use, and it basically means any good. So if you want to try this website, you could ask someone, has anyone used this before? Any use? And they could say, yeah, it worked well for me, or no, it's a scam, stay away from it. I don't really use that one myself in Wicklow. I don't really hear it a lot either. But my husband, he would use it a lot, and he's from Dublin, so I don't know, maybe it's more popular in Dublin. But any use. Yeah, I tried this new pizza place. Any use. And that is my list of Irish slang and phrases part 4. I'm going to be doing a part 5 because there's so much more that I couldn't fit in this video. So make sure you hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss it. And please let me know in the comments below if there are any that I missed that you want me to include in the next one. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye!